goodness. This is what we're looking like, huh? Oh goodness. Okay, well, here we go. Here it is. I am just securing my tripod, and then I'm going to, oh, I meant to bring the remote so I can turn on the AC, but I forgot it. Gonna put on this hoodie. Hair's looking a mess. I just got done with work here at the studio. I had a really tough client today, in this room too. She like didn't want to leave, and then she racked up a hell of a bill, and then didn't want to pay it. Cause she was like, oh, bill me. And I was like, girl, are you sure? And then when she got that bill, she was mad. Excuse my hair. I have had it, I blow dried it and straightened it. And then like, I've been oiling my scalp and putting like this oil on my ends, and just haven't done anything to it. So it's in a scrunchie right now, and this is what it's looking like. But yeah, today is December 14th, and I think I know for sure it's not the hardest day of my life, but it's a really hard day mentally. All day I've just been like trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I know that I wanted to get this energy out. Excuse me. It just seems like since October, like the end of October, I have just been going through it. And it's been like building up, and I haven't been expressing it. I've kind of just been doing what I normally do, silently dealing with it and isolating myself, and it's not helping. So I'm like, if you can tell, antsy. I have some food because I haven't had anything to eat today, so I'm shaky. This is like my little meal from Factor. So I'm gonna eat that while I talk, and hopefully be as open and honest and candid, if you will, as I possibly can. I'm actually pretty excited to be on camera looking this toe up, because it is my habit to like to put my best foot forward, and to always look my best, especially because I'm an artist. Look, my lips are dry and everything. I didn't mean to look this crusty, but hey, if I'm gonna be authentically who I am, you know, although I'm not this all the time, it is a part of who I am. So it's important for me to, you know, show that this is who I am sometimes too. And I'm just as lovable, and I should accept myself in all forms of myself. But yeah, so also bear with me, because I believe I have ADHD, so my thoughts are going to bounce around like nobody's business. So bear with me, we gonna piece it together, hang in there with me. But yeah, so I've been having a really hard time mentally today, just realizing a lot, like especially with the new year coming up, and just like making my goals list, and every day has just been hard because I've been wanting to be in this headspace of the new year is here, like I'm ready, you know, new year, new me. Excuse me if my voice is going in and out. I've been like fighting this like respiratory infection that turned into bronchitis. That's like, my body's still getting rid of like all the mucus. But yeah, your girl is going through it. If you thought I was joking, I'm not joking. But yeah, so I've been wanting to be in this headspace of like starting my new year early, and I've been acting as if 2023 has already started, just so that I can, you know, implement the habits that I want to be consistent with in 2023 early. And I'm having a hard time, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's been hard mentally to just like stay motivated. Like, I already feel tired and I already feel burnt out. Like, but it's good because I'm seeing like my life from a bird's eye view and realizing I'm just so unhappy and so drained. And I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do. Like, you know, it's seeing that the systems are not working and trying to figure out like where the reboot and the change needs to happen, without getting too morbid and like, a reboot is needed. Oh my God, I just realized that I'm eating on camera and I don't even like eating in front of people. And this is also the strangest tasting meal. It's not bad, it's just, the taste is so like, ooh, herbs. It's so rich. I don't think I think I need like something a little more like bland right now for the headspace that I'm in. But yeah, I'm so unhappy. And I know that like anxiety and depression is a thing that I deal with, but this feels different. Like, I'm having a lot of anxiety about not even making it to 2023. Like, I just feel like I'm gonna make all these plans and then looming disappointment. And even now, like the anxiety about that, I can feel it like boiling over, and like, it just brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it, because I just want so much out of life. And I don't want it to seem like I'm complaining, or that like I'm not grateful for how far I've come, but my life has been so hard. And don't get me wrong, it has not been anywhere near as hard as it, you know, could have been. Like, things could have went way more left. I'm surprised that I'm even like crying right now. Honestly, like, losing my cat last month, I think opened like a floodgate, because prior to him, I hadn't cried in probably over 5 years. And I had got to a point where I was like, I can't cry. Like, nothing makes me cry anymore. It doesn't matter how sad I am. Like, I used to sit and like try and make myself cry, and nothing would happen. But when my cat passed away, like, I had never, like, I cried for like maybe a week straight. And since then, like, I have not been able to just like keep it in. So I might, you know, shed a couple tears. But yeah, I've just been having a hard time like figuring it out. Like, a little backstory, I guess. I know I'm jumping around, please bear with me, but it's just a lot. Like, a little backstory, I guess, on my life is, you know, I was born in Valdosta, Georgia. And I lived, like, it's kind of all a blur because of a lot of trauma. So it's dotty, it's spotty. Like, there's only certain things that I remember. But from my, like, what I remember as a kid was like being little in Georgia, and then being a kid in California with my mom and my sister, and then moving back to Georgia and living with my grandma, and then moving back to LA, and then my mom was pregnant with my little brother, and then my mom had my little brother, and then moving back to Georgia, and then moving back to LA for good, And then my mom got pregnant with my second baby brother. And that's when I was like in LA for good. And then later on, like in high school, my mom had my little sister. And then once I was out of high school, she had my second baby sister. So I am one of 6. If that gives you a little bit of backstory, contrary to like what a lot of people believe, like I didn't choose to come to LA. My mom was here, and she, you know, we were living with my grandma. My grandma was taking care of us while she was here, you know, pursuing her dreams, pursuing music and doing her thing. And then she moved us with her because she wanted to take care of us and, you know, be a mom. And it was immediately hard off the bat because I think that I had formed such an idea of my grandma as being my mother, or like as, you know, the caretaker, that when I ended up moving with my mom, I just didn't know her. And I was always very shy and always very like, just a very introverted kid. I didn't know I was an introvert at the time. I didn't know I was an introvert until like after I was like an adult. But yeah, always very reserved. And I think because of that, we were never able to like bond in that way, like the way that she was able to bond with the rest of my siblings. So I was alone a lot, and I felt alone a lot. And I never really had that many friends, like from the beginning, like coming to, you know, LA and like going to school here for the first time. It was very different. You know, it was easy to make friends, but the dynamic was always very different. It wasn't always easy to keep friends. So I did, you know, kind of bounce around from friend groups, and then I just kind of eventually like stayed to myself. We moved around a lot, so I never stayed at schools for very long. So, you know, having lifelong friends wasn't a thing. And then I got to high school, or I got to junior high school. I ended up going to my sister's junior high school. And that was the first time that I had like made friends on my own. And I'll never forget, like till this day, my sister like wanted to show me around, and it was like lunchtime, and my sister wanted me to come with her, but I had made a friend in class, and my friend was like, hey, come hang out with us. And my sister was like, excuse me guys, my voice is so just, my sister was like, what are you doing? Are you gonna come hang out with us, like the cool kids, or are you gonna be a loser? And I just remember something was like, go and have friends. And till this day, I was like, this is the best decision I ever made in my life. Because yeah, I ended up like making friends, and I was friends with those people like all the way through high school and into my adult life. Unfortunately, I'm no longer friends with them now, but you know, just being able to like have that experience was really important for me. But yeah, high school was traumatic. Growing up was traumatic. Like my mom was very controlling, lots of emotional abuse, lots of physical abuse. I don't fault her now. I just see that like she was doing the best that she could. Like it's a long story. That's like a video for another day. I'll get to that eventually. But yeah, a lot of like my high school years, it's a lot of trauma and a lot of like, I've had to heal, and like still till this day, like it's weird to think back, like there's a lot of like social stigma between people, like surrounding people who like relive their high school years and who are stuck in their high school years. But for me, there's like so much at home trauma and so much like trauma just period in my life from that time, just leading up to, I want to say like 28 years old. Like from high school to 28 years old was just a blur, really, because I was just going through it constantly. Like it was just a tough time. I ended up getting kicked out for the first time at 16, then getting kicked out for what I decided was the last time at 18. And I was just like a nervous wreck. Like looking back on it now, like my nerves were just shot. Like I just couldn't handle anything. I was just so fragile. I'm still very like fragile now, but like just thinking about back at like how just, I was just so like messed up, and I didn't know, like not messed up in a like toxic way where I was like hurting other people. It was more like, you know, I couldn't function. I was depressed. I was anxious. I was just not very self-aware. I didn't know myself. I was insecure. I was like, always been a plus size girl. And I just hated my body. Like growing up, I was always taught to like not like my body, and to be, you know, if you wanted to be successful, you needed to be other, you needed to be something else, you needed to like, you know, not eat, you needed to do sit-ups, you needed to work out, and like just always felt like I wasn't what I wasn't enough. So leading into an adult, that it just, we all know how that goes. Never met my father. I don't even, I think I like know his first name and his like last name, that's it. Never seen him, never seen a picture of him. So daddy issues is a thing. I got daddy issues and mommy issues. Someone said like, if you got both, it cancels out. So, but yeah, I think that, I don't know if, I think I have daddy issues, but not in a way where like I am conscious of it. Like I think I have authority issues. Like I don't want nobody telling me what to do, and that might be because I like never had a father figure to like, you know, put the hammer down. But yeah, that's just a little history like from the beginning of like, you know, my personality and who I am. I'm very much so like, I don't think I'm a rebel. I think I just question things, and I'm determined. And I think now I know what I want. But that also leads me to like now, 2022 going into 2023, and knowing the life that I want to live and not having it, and not having it for so long, and questioning myself, and also feeling like, you know, what's wrong with me? Why am I not getting it? And, you know, also comparing myself a little bit. Like, you can't help but compare yourself when you see like people around you getting it, not in a jealous way, but just like, am I doing something wrong? Like, what am I not getting? And it does cause a lot of frustration, because it's like, you know, I don't ever want to catch myself in this headspace where I'm like working myself in circles. And I feel like I've been in that situation like a lot, you know, because I feel like I've been working hard, and to, yeah, like have, like, I guess from the outside looking in, if I wasn't myself, I'd be like, no, yeah, you're getting somewhere. Like, you know, if you got to do it from the ground up, of course it's going to take longer. Of course it's going to feel like, you know, walking through mud. But that's the part that's like, I'm tired. I recently watched like a video, like Ari Lennox was talking about how tired she was of like being a hopeless romantic. And I related so much, because I'm like, I'm tired, like, of just not getting what I want. And I think that I've been like, you know, writing lists and like manifesting and like working on breaking things down and really trying to take my own advice. And you know, I'm a little frustrated. I have to be honest and say that I'm a little bit frustrated by just not being in a place that I want to be in. And now seeing where I am in life, and like, you know, I never thought that like having a pet, like I said earlier, I lost my cat, sorry, having a pet would like keep you in a place. But now that I don't have a pet, and I'm like, ooh, it's just me. Like, I'm not in a relationship, I don't have a pet, it's just my ass. Like, what do I do now? Do I move? You know, should I leave my job? Like, I like my job. I work in a creative place. Like, you know, I'm like, you know, in a leadership position, but is that enough for me? You know, my goal at the end of the day is to be the best entertainer on the planet, like to tour the world and to put on incredible shows and to have people love my music and relate to my music and to be able to say like, you know, you helped me, and to share that with somebody, that commonality that like music just saves us all. Like that is my like, that is what my passion is and what drives me. Whenever someone says like your music helped me, it just gives me confirmation to keep going. And yeah, I just want more of that. Like, I don't understand why some days even that feels hard. And I know like I deal with depression and anxiety so bad. Like every day is like walking through mud is the only way that I can explain it. It just feels like walking through mud. And, you know, I am a very outspoken person when it comes to mental health. I am an advocate for mental health. You know, I am getting help for my mental health. I am seeing my doctor and my therapist. And, you know, I'm doing the things and taking the steps that I need to take. But it is still, I think, I'm like, dang, do I struggle with it that bad? But yeah, it's hard, y'all. And it's even like hard for me to really like talk about it, just because some days it just feels like I'm in a daze and I don't know like what to do. And it's like, it really is like day to day. Like luckily, like I already like spoke to my doctor and like, I know for sure that I'm not bipolar, which is cool. You know, nothing to those who are, but I went through like the test for that. I'm sorry, like you can see me looking down, like I'm just really like beat up and down bad today. But yeah, I spoke to my therapist and I went through and did a test and everything, because I was just trying to figure out like what was wrong with me and you know, why I was feeling so down so often and just, you know, having really bad mood swings. And even talking about it now, it's like triggering me a little bit. And I'm trying to like shake myself out of it. But yeah, I also want to make sure that I'm doing this video for that reason, just because I want people to know what it looks like. And I think I've kind of kept myself private because I have a fear of people being like, ooh, she's crazy, or, you know, people making fun. Like I've had people say stuff like that in the past before, like, you know, kind of dismiss what I'm going through. Like I've had people call me spoiled little rich girl because I grew up in like big houses, and on the outside looking in, like, you know, what should you be complaining about? But one thing I'll say is like, you never know what people are going through and you never know what it looks like on the inside. So never judge a book from the outside, because you can have all the money in the world and still feel empty inside. And I think that if you look at the world and look at how like the suicide rate today and just look at, you know, the cases, and like it seems like every day someone's gone from suicide. If you look at that and look at the people and what they have, like that should be enough proof that like you can have all the riches in the world and that doesn't make it better. It doesn't heal it. It doesn't cure it. But yeah, also, let me preface this by saying this video is not a cry for help, and I'm not by any means like in jeopardy of harming myself or anything like that. Like, you know, I still feel like an underlying sense of joy, but I'm just fighting through like a storm cloud right now. And I think honestly, it's just the anxiety of like getting it right and having places and ambition and places I want to go. Like, I'm a very ambitious person, and I got things I want to do. So I think I'm just like having anxiety over that and really overthinking and stressing and ruminating. I think that I have OCD, and not in a way where it's like, oh, I need to like make sure like, you know, all the colors are together or like everything's lined up. I'm a little like that, I'm gonna be honest. But when it comes to like ruminating on things and like, you know, overthinking, yeah, I definitely think that's something that I deal with. But yeah, I guess this is a 25-minute long video. I don't know if I'm ever gonna upload this to YouTube. I don't know if I sound crazy. I really don't want to edit this video because I feel like if I go back and watch it, I'm just gonna judge myself and then end up like editing it. So I think I'm just gonna put it out on YouTube and just whoever sees it, whatever. But the purpose of this video is just to shed light and, you know, bring life and humanness to, you know, social media and the platforms, at least my platforms, because I don't ever want people to think that I am putting out this image of perfection and that I don't go through things and that I look pristine with like the wigs and the makeup and, you know, and all the glitz and glam and all the things 24/7, because that's not real life. This is real life. Like, I'm a human. I feel, I make mistakes. I'm in a daze sometimes. You know, I talk in circles sometimes. I jump around in conversations sometimes. And, you know, I work and, you know, I'm just out here trying to make my dreams happen just like everybody else. And yeah, I just want people to see that. Oh my God, we're almost at 30 minutes. But yeah, I'm hoping maybe I could do like a daily journal like this and upload it. But yeah, I had to do this video because I wanted to shoot some content. Like, I have all my stuff with me, but all day I've just been like shaking my head and like, Jesus be with me, praying and doing like brain dumps, trying to like prep myself. But then I realized like, I'm gonna go and put on these outfits, put on this makeup, do my hair, and take these pictures and post them for what? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's gonna make me feel good for 2 seconds because I look cute and I can pretend that like, you know, all is well, but that's not gonna make me feel good at the end. So I feel like this was a better option. I did not eat my food, but until next time, I guess we'll chat again. Bye.